Steve, pleasure to meet you. I know we've spoke quite a few times through TikTok.
Yes.
And you obviously know about me,
Yes, indeed.
about my positive journey and spreading that message and why I'm on TikTok. Question is to you, why are you on TikTok?
I think I'm on TikTok for a very similar reason. To
Okay.
spread positivity, to help people when they need help.
Yeah.
And even if they don't think they need help, it's just to be there as
Yeah.
that
Sounding
influential
board.
person. That
Yeah.
absolutely, that sounding board, that positive vibe, that sort of
Yeah.
inspiration that can share to many people.
Yeah, and I believe anyone that does any kind of positive video sends a positive message to like thousands of people.
Yes.
You know, it's like a chain reaction. And someone might share it with their friends or family that need it. And I always said that like people that come to my page, there's no such thing as coincidences. Like you come to my page, it wasn't a coincidence. You were meant to see whatever. I don't know whether it was a funny video, whether it was an inspiration video, but some video brought you there.
I think that the first video I watched was an inspirational one.
Yeah.
Trying to think back to what it was, but it was inspirational because I'm all about that. I think
Yeah.
it hooked me in. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow this guy. And then I
Yeah.
realized from Caerphilly,
Yeah.
same place I'm
Local.
from, which kind of made sense. Like, all right, then fair enough. Let's keep following this guy. And
Yeah.
I just, really, really enjoy
Yeah.
your sort of.
So it seems like it's important to you as it is for me to like
Absolutely.
raise people's spirits, and
Yeah.
there's so many people out there I think that are lost in the world. They are so afraid to come forward and say, look, do you know what? I'm depressed. I'm suffering with anxiety, because me being a person, I've been there, lived it, and breathed it. There was no one around. No one wanted to understand, and you try to speak to people. I say to people, I don't feel right today, and they go, oh, you'll be all right tomorrow. You're just having a bad day, or just shake it off. Or they'll say to me, or they did say to me, like, well, you know what? You got a business. You're earning decent money, so I don't understand why you feel like that. And I try to explain to you, it doesn't matter whether you've got money, whether you've got a good car, whatever you've got around you. It doesn't. There's film stars which are multi-billionaires and are severely depressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I think it's hidden. And it's hidden, isn't it? It's within yourself. And no matter what you portray out there, we all have a mask.
Yeah, of course we do.
We don't always show that side of us.
No, and I think as well, like a lot of people, and obviously I don't know your background. I don't know. Have you suffered a little bit yourself? Or?
Absolutely, I've got my own trauma.
Yeah. So I would imagine then loads of times, like myself, even on your baddest days, you go out there, put this big smile and go, hi, how are you? And then, well, you are, yeah, I'm actually fine. But if someone asks you in a different way, are you okay? You would take a step back. Now, when I went on a podcast with Nick around this time last year, and he turned around and he said to me, oh, I see all this stuff, positivity and all that you put out there, but how are you? And I was like, what do you mean? He said, no, how are you? And I was like, nobody's ever asked me like that before. And that was empowering to me, because I think because he actually asked me in that way, I was like taken back. Because they'll throw it around and they go, how are you? And then you'll just go, yeah, I'm fine. But if someone asks you in a different way, then you'll take a step back and go, well, actually, I'm not all right. This person's willing to listen.
It's that we all say it, how are you?
Yeah.
But don't really mean that question.
No.
And people just go, yeah, I'm fine. It's typical response we give, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But when it's asked again, it's like, it makes you really think, doesn't it? How are you, for sure?
Yeah.
I done a video recently, actually, well, not recently, but a little while back. I posed that question.
Yeah.
I asked it meaningfully, and the response I got from it was great. I had people come through and actually, I'm not okay today.
Yeah.
I've had this day today. And just realizing how you ask a question to people.
Yeah.
Can have such an impact.
Of course it can. Of course it can.
Yeah.
I think it is the way we ask the question, and I know how to ask that question because I've been in a position where I felt down, I felt depressed, I've gone through like a breakdown, and knowing the way people like responded to me in a negatively way, I would never do that to somebody. I would want to respond to them in a positive way and say, well, okay, let's have a chat, and identify and let them know that, I'm here. And this is why I do what I do on my page as well. And it seems to be you're trying to do that yourself now as well. Now.
Absolutely, I am. I'm trying to be that person that's there for others and ask those questions meaningfully. And sometimes it doesn't get the response you kind of want, I don't think.
No.
Sometimes you put it out there and it's actually not hitting many people. And you're like,
no.
This would hit more, because I know there's people out there who really want to answer this question.
Yeah.
And sometimes those people maybe behind those screens don't feel they can answer that question truthfully.
Yeah.
So a couple of videos down the line, I'll do it again. just to reiterate what I've asked initially, and after people have kind of drawn in a little bit, okay.
It's an interesting thing you say that, right? Because not many people, but a lot of people follow me for a long time, so they get it, right? And then so one or two people have like dropped comments, or they come in my inbox for and said, "Oh, you know, why do you repeat the same videos?" I said, "Because more people come to my page, and let's say I've gained another 4 or 5,000 over the last year or whatever, right? Maybe more, maybe less, who knows? But they might not have seen the videos the other people have seen that brought them to my page. So I'm always going to reiterate that, and I'm always going to talk about the same kind of things, maybe in a different way or a different angle. It's not going to be exact, but it's sending that message to them. You know, because like your page is going to grow. More and more people are going to come there every single day. But I tell you one thing, what I love about your page is your kids in the background in that car in the morning, right? When they go, "Come on in." That is absolutely amazing.
So that was the spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
I was sat there waiting outside the school. Do the school run every morning.
Yeah.
And I was sat there prepping myself for my video that was going to come a little later.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Can we do a video?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Sure, not. As long as I'm in it, let's do it." And they just came up with it. It was like they spoke. My son done it first.
Yeah.
They're so full of energy. And I absolutely love that. And actually them going into school after doing that little message, I think it empowers them a little bit.
It does, and being so young, and like I said, we got this camera rolling now on us, and then, you know, being young and having the camera and having so much confidence to be able to do that, I think that's amazing. I'm glad you've done that with them at a young age, because my two, like Emily does her videos, but she suffers with her like anxiety and depression. She's trying now because she wants to do her videos, and when Emily does it, she'll be watching this, and when she does it, she's amazing at it. Everyone says how good she is, but it's that lack of confidence. So I'm glad you're doing it with your kids now, because then what you're doing, they're going to do when they're older, and they're going to go, "Good morning," and spread all that positive. Because you probably do realise by now, but people must have messaged you and say, "Oh, you brighten up my day, you brighten up my morning. I see your kids, right?" Like, it's great seeing you, but when I see your kids do it, right, it puts a smile on my face. Cause I go, "Oh, it's two young children, beautiful children, which are spreading love and joy." Because most mornings, right, when I'm doing my video and I like upload mine, I have a little, like 2 minutes before I shoot off, I see yours with your children. And I'm like, I smile and laugh and I go, wow. You know?
Love it. You know, I watch it, but I don't edit that video. That video.
No, I can see that.
There's no editing it whatsoever. It's like, do the video, post, done, put some hashtags in there. And later on in the evening when I finish work, I go home and I'll look at the views and I'll look at the comments and respond to people. And I sit there and I watch the video first, and it makes me smile. I find myself just smiling at this video, the things they've said in the morning. And although I've listened to it, I didn't actually realise how it looked. And it makes me feel really happy when I see that also.
Was you nervous the very first time you done your first video?
My first video?
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was terrified. I mean, if you look back at the first video I'd done of myself, compared to what you see now, you will see a massive difference.
You will, right? I've noticed this for myself, right? Like I've said it loads of times. I've been doing videos for probably about 20 odd years. So I was a lot younger. I'm 46 now, so I was a young man. I was in my early 20s when I was doing it. But I found a video the other week of me when I done my first video, and it was all and I looked so nervous. I looked like I didn't know what I was doing, because a lot of people say, "Oh, Steve, you're confident, you just flow with it," and yeah, I do now. But I think I've grown into that.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I've always been all right. I've always been able to do it the way I do, but I wasn't.
No,
and I realised that when I seen that video, and I looked so uncomfortable. Yeah. And I was looking back at the younger version of me. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Like, just speak a bit more, speak a bit different. Come on,
yeah,
do that differently.
yeah.
And yeah, for sure, it's you look back at yourself. I look back at my first video, which was towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
And I see a massive difference already.
Yeah, you will.
A lot more confident now.
It helps you grow into your confidence, I think. You know what I mean? And I don't care. Like, this is what Emily worries about, other people around other people. Now, when we go, I don't know if you've seen, like, well, you would have, but when we go to America, Emily's more vocal with the videos. Because she said to me, oddly, that when we're in America, she said, nobody is looking at you. And they don't, because in America it's such a big place, and everybody's doing videos. When I'm doing videos, there's 2 or 3 people around me doing videos. It doesn't bother me where I am, when I'm here or when I'm there. But I understand what Emily's saying, because she does her videos and feels confident because nobody's looking at over you. She feels like she's judged. And I say, don't forget about anyone else. I've had people in the back of my videos shaking their heads. I've heard them saying stuff in the background, and I'm thinking, I don't care about you, because I care about the people that need my help, need my support. Because this one video I'm putting out that you're shaking your head over, that could stop somebody from doing the unthinkable. You know, bring some.
I can see that with Emily there, as you said about being in America, being away from where you are. I found the same thing. I done my very first video outdoors.
Yeah.
When I was in Spain at Christmas.
Wow.
The video that's on there of me speaking, I was outdoors, and all my others have been in my car.
Yeah.
Because that's my place. But my first outdoor video, there was people around me, people walking beside me, but I didn't care.
So that's a good thing, because you got to transition. So you go from like doing the video, right, and then you put the video out there, you're a little bit nervous, and then it's doing it when you're surrounded with people, and then you get that nervousness again, and then you got to overcome that, and in the end you go, you know, I don't care what people think. I know I'm doing some good, so if they don't like it, tough. But I kind of like, because someone asked me this the other day, how do I say I zone out? I zone out. So when I'm more like, I'm going to Asda later, you know, I hate Asda, never in Asda, very rare I'm in Asda, but I'll be walking down there later doing a video with the girls, and it doesn't matter who's around me, I just zone out. On the odd occasion, some people see I'm on a video and they'll kind of like want to chat or get involved in it a little bit, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I zone out to everybody, and I say this to Emily, you've got to pretend nobody's there. Like if you stood on the stage and all the lights were off and you were just on that stage on your own. And that's the way I've always looked at it. And you know, your confidence just builds then as time goes on.
It does. And I found that in the car. When I first done my car video, I was sat there and people were walking past, and I'd stop and I'd delete the recording and I'd start again.
Yeah.
Until somebody passed. But now I do just zone out. Whoever's walking past my car, if it's a car driving, it is what it is, and I'm just carrying on doing what I'm doing. And I do feel a lot more confident now with it.
Good.
I do.
Good.
It's growing.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you, but you never have to answer anything you don't answer. If you don't want to talk about anything, they just say, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. But you've obviously said you've suffered a little bit, maybe depression, anxiety. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about a little bit about it?
Yeah, for sure. I'll talk a little bit about it. I've suffered with depression, anxiety myself, self-esteem, confidence issues. It comes from a childhood trauma. Okay. I'm not going to go into too much detail.
No, you don't have to.
I had childhood trauma, but it's made me who I am. Statistically, I shouldn't be where I am, or who I am, or what I do. But I'm proud of myself for growing from what I could have been, or from what I was, to what I am now. My trauma and my anxieties and my depressions has helped me be who I am.
That's correct. Because do you know what? And I've said this loads of times, and I'm proud of you, because it takes a lot, and it takes all our might as well. Like, I've had my stories, I've put them out there, but like I say, this is more about you now. And you needed to go through that the same as I did. And I say to people, I'm glad I went through it. Render stuff. And in a weird kind of way, you're probably glad you've been through it, because it's made you the person you are, the husband you are, the father you are, the provider you are, and you're just about to go to university, or, you know, to do the university course, which is like the most ballsiest thing ever, to do the university, and it's all to do with depression, all those kind of things.
It's the university course is psychology with counselling.
Oh, okay.
So it's helped me progress myself further into the field of what I already like to do. So having that degree behind me, I think, and that understanding, that knowledge that I've got a little bit of. Yeah. I think I just want to grow.
And this is the thing, right? And if you've heard what I've said before in videos, I've said that there's counsellors out there which get qualified. They've never had anxiety. They've never been depressed. And they never experienced anything that anyone experiences, and they're the worst counsellors in the world. I don't care what anyone says. They're the worst counsellors in the world. They got a certificate, right? I said this the other week to somebody. When I left school, I went and got a job in Bedworth Bodyworks, it was called at the time, and they put me in college, and then I went and done a course, panel beating and spraying. Right? So I'm a qualified panel beating and sprayer. I could not spray your car because I wouldn't know how to do it. Do you know why? Because I got qualified in it, but I never went in the field to do it. So these counsellors, they've not been through any of this stuff. Not all of them, but some of them. Yeah. So I always say the best counsellors in the world, and you will make a great counsellor because you've been through it, you've experienced it, you've lived it, you felt every emotion, lived every trauma that you went through, and relived. And you then will be a fantastic counsellor and in a fantastic position to get that qualification, but actually be able to understand what someone's going through. That's why people say to me, you can relate to me, you know what's going on in my head. You're going to be able to do the same because it's real. But when a counsellor's there and they are qualified but not experienced in the field, and they're telling people do this, there's someone, I'm not going to mention a name, they were having a counsellor, right, for I think it was 2 years, 3 years. they stopped having their counsellor because they said, after speaking to you, I've realised I've wasted my money and you've helped me more than my counsellor helped me just through your words, through your videos and that. And they stopped having counselling because of that reason. So the counsellor they had, all they kept doing was delving into their past every time they went back. And I'm like, that's just a loop that you keep on reliving. I said, yes, you go into that at the beginning, but then let's find a way out of it. So
I think a lot of, I've had counsellors myself in the past. It is just this cycle. It just keeps delving into the past. And yes, that's a path you need to take at some point. You need to understand what happened, and you need to have clarity over things and really understand yourself. But when it gets to a point of how can I improve from here, they appear to just jump back straight into the same things you've already talked about. And actually, it needs to be more client-centered. It needs to be more what's going to help you. What do you want to get out of this?
Yeah.
And I think that's also in my current job role as a driving instructor is going to play a massive part, because it is about being client-centered.
Of course it is.
Understanding what that person needs, wants, how can they progress as an individual.
So what got you into driving instructor as well? What was that, just a job of convenience, or was it something you wanted to do at that particular time in your life?
It was an interest.
Okay.
So I loved teaching. I loved helping people because I worked in education before in schools. But my daughter was born and I needed more time at home with her. I needed to spend time with my daughter. I put two and two together. I love driving. Absolutely loved driving, being out on the road, and I loved helping, teaching people.
Yeah.
So I became a driving instructor. I absolutely love my job. I've loved it since I've done it. It's stressful, hard work.
I bet.
But I love it. So I think the reasoning behind it was for more flexibility and enable me to not be in one single place of work and allow myself to meet other people.
And I wish more men would do that out there as well, because obviously I got my businesses, so enable me obviously to be there for my girls. Now, when they were younger, could I push the business? No. Was the business earning great money? No, because I couldn't excel it anymore. However, that didn't matter, because what mattered is the quality of time I had with my kids, the quality of time you're having with your kids. And I knew when they got to an age, I'd be able to push, which I have now, and things are going great. But I'm glad, and I would never change anything because of all the struggle, financially and everything else. It allowed me to be there for my children, and you're doing the same thing. So you got a job which is you can work around, and you can always be there for every Christmas concert, every sports day. And, it's nice to hear that, because I hate it when I hear men, when they go, oh yeah, well, I've only ever been to one sports day. And it's like, really? You'll never get that back.
Yeah, that's hard. They're all milestones for those kids.
Of course,
you're never going to see it again. You've got to take every opportunity to witness them growing up and witness them doing these things.
Yeah.
And for me, that was really important. I needed
absolutely.
to see this. And my wife went back to work.
Yeah.
I stayed at home a little bit with my daughter whilst my wife went back to work. But we shared that responsibility. I got to see so many incredible things for my kids.
What about you? You're both exemplary role models for each other, because, like I said, in the videos it reflects that. If you weren't good parents, they wouldn't be as confident and as happy as they are.
I think so.
It's credit to both of you on that. Fair play. They are happy kids. So, I'm glad you've done what you've done, because you're always going to be there for them. And now you're going, I want to help people, so I'm going to go to university. And I always say to them, if you get a job that you like to do, you never work in a day in your life against your head in that way, you're going to be helping loads of people. And then, yes, you'll be providing an income and a lifestyle for your family, but through doing what you want to do.
Absolutely, I agree. You've got to enjoy what you do.
You have, because I have so many people, they hate their job, they get up every morning, I hate my job, I don't want to go, but I got to put and it's, I understand you got to put food on the table, but then you got to look at what you want to do, which is going to make you feel better for your mental health and better for your family. Because even though you're providing, if you're stressed out going to work, you're going to knock on your family, you're going to come home moody, agitated, and your family then are going to feel that, and it's going to cause arguments, and it's not good. It's not
I'm not going to lie. Obviously, my job right now, I love my job, and it's great. The reward is fantastic. But I do wake up some mornings thinking, I don't want to go to work today.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, well, why have I got to go out there? I don't want to do this. I'm fed up. I'm stressed. I think running a business is hard work in itself.
Yeah.
But then having to be quite hands-on with your business. Obviously, being a sole trader, you have to be hands-on.
Yeah.
With it. That's why I think I'm progressing further into what I'm doing.
Yeah, because you rather do that than this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna. I love my businesses. Right? I love everything I do with social media, with my businesses. But what you just said there, I'm not going to lie. Do I get mornings that I do get up and I go, do you know what? I'll sell the businesses. I'm done with it all. Because when you get stressed and you get an element of stress, regardless of what you're doing, right, all of a sudden you get a hate for it. You don't mean to, and then all of a couple of hours later, you'll wake up and, in a couple of days later, you'll wake up and you go, oh, actually, I love my life, I love it. And I generally do, but what I'm trying to say is I can relate. You are going on the right path, but for me, I generally do love my business, but I do still get days like that, or a bit of stress and work, things are not going right, and I'm like, I don't need to put up with this, to hell this, is it all worth it? Yes, it is worth it, but at the time, is it all worth it? And you go, no, I don't want it. And
it is worth it, I agree. It is worth it. The majority of the time, I love what I do. I absolutely love my job, sitting in the car, helping people, and the rewards, astronomical. They're just incredible.
When someone passes the test,
smile on their face, and even when they don't pass their test, it's to see the progress as they grow through. And people do fail their test, of course. And if they fail, okay, well, what happened? We'll delve into that a bit further.
Exactly.
But it makes them appreciate what they want a little bit more, and that for me is important.
Why I was smirking because I've seen a couple of videos. You're getting them in the videos now as well. Now put them on the spot in the videos.
To be fair, I think a couple of those that were in the video, it was just on the spot, quite literally. Like, I'm going to ask this question. We're going to record. Like, no, but they've done amazing. They've done absolutely amazing.
I think that's quite informal though, because a lot of people watching that video then is learning. But I've just learned something from there. So I keep those going as well. If they want to go.
I've asked some of my students, well, when it gets to a point on the driving journey, we start going through it. They call them the show me, tell me questions. The questions that are asked on the driving test, but I like to do it quite early on because it's important. We do these little things as we go through. But I've asked them, how are you learning for this? What are you doing? What are you using? I've been watching videos, and okay, great, that's helping you then massively. And I love that bit. It's really great.
Like you said, it's a high reward for you as well. It's not just about financially. It's like doing that and then getting all the rewards off the back end of it as well.
Absolutely.
Have you got any scare stories?
Today
that you want to tell?
Today, it's not actually on a driving lesson. It was with a friend, and I'm not going to name him because he probably won't be happy about it. But
hopefully you'll watch this.
he will watch it. He will be watching. He knows I'm doing this.
If you're watching,
he's watching. I'm going to send it to you. I'm sending it to you. But today, the most scared of being in a car. Was we kind of approached a roundabout. I was a passenger. And he's not learning to drive. He's been driving for many years, and the foot went down on the accelerator. There was a car coming from the right, hidden in his A pillar.
Oh my god!
I could see this car in his A pillar. He obviously couldn't. It was his A pillar, and I'm his friend. I'm not going to say, look. But he put his foot down to go, and as he went to go, he saw the car, which was great, right? He put his foot down and made progress. So that was great. But because he put his foot down, the van that was pulling out of the junction on the left-hand side of the roundabout, actually pulled out in front of us, so my friend had to slam his brakes on. The car was really close there to the right of us, and I was like, it made me sweat. It made me sweat. But that's in regards to driving lessons stories, I don't think personally I've not had any. There was a driving test. There is a video on my channel, on my page, of a driving test. I wasn't in the car at the time, but my student was driving through a country lane, and there was a truck coming towards them at speed. My student was slow. The truck slammed his brakes on and swerved, hit vehicles behind my student's car, behind my car. Thankfully, she later went on to pass her test. But that must have been quite scary for her and the examiner.
Well, Emily, she passed when she was 20. It's been 3 years now, and I remember one lesson, she went with a driving instructor from Taswell, really, really patient guy, older guy, lovely. And the one day, they only went out for 10 minutes. Emily come back, crying her eyes out. She nearly took them both out on the roundabout. I think, I don't know exactly what happened, but all I can gather is she pulled out too quick or whatever when she shouldn't have, and he lost it. So in all fairness, he was still thinking well, and he was like, carry on, and she was like, no, I want to go home, because it shakes him up, doesn't it? It shakes him up.
Absolutely.
But then she went out the next day and she was fine then,
It can be quite, little things like that do happen often. It can be quite traumatic for them.
And the hardest thing, right, I'm patient, and with anyone. If I was taking someone else out to drive and learn to drive, I'd be patient. But I've learned when you see your own children, it's hard. Now, when I was younger, my father was the same. My father had all the patience in the world. And I remember being on a driving lesson with my father shouting at me, and my father wasn't a shouty person. Right? I remember one day getting out of the car and slamming the door and saying, that's it. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to be like him, right? But then I've done exactly the same thing with my girls, because you can't help it, because they're your children, and you're getting frustrated.
Yeah.
You don't mean to be.
I've got that to come, I think, with my two. And
yeah.
I've got that to come, but I'm not looking forward to it. I think I might refuse to teach my kids.
You're probably better off. That's why, like, the girls had a driving instructor, but I was taking them out. But yeah, I think I was more patient with Olivia than I was with Emily, to be fair. I think because I realised with Emily, I was a little bit too hard, and I thought, I can't do that again, because it makes them worse, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, absolutely.
Yeah, you just panic because you got, like, in your car, you got the controls both sides. Yes. Like, I haven't got that advice, so break!
It's a bit of a luxury.
Yeah.
We can actually save our lives.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
So your future then now, that's where you want to go then with all the counselling and that's where you see yourself. Do you see yourself giving up in driving instructor then? Or is that going to be more of a sideline then?
It's going to be more of a sideline.
Yeah.
I see myself continuing with driving instructing, but I think my future is going to be more down to sort of the counselling, the psychology route of things. I'm already doing life coaching as a sideline now, but I want to grow that, and I think that's where this is going to come in.
Look, because you can progress it online. There's a lady I follow. I can't even remember her name for the life of me now. She's a redhead lady, really pretty lady, up in England somewhere, and she is a qualified counsellor. But she's been through trauma. She's told her story. She's been through a lot, and that's what I'm saying. She makes best. And honestly, I listen to her, and she is amazing. She is really amazing, and she tells her stories and that, and she can, like I say, I can sit down with people and spot a narcissist straight away, but I think she can do it even quicker than me. She's honestly, things she talks about, it just blows my mind. She's really good. Yeah.
You need to share that to me. Let me have a look.
Yeah. It's a thing I couldn't before, because there was a time when I didn't know what a narcissist was, and then I was in a narcissist relationship that was like romantically, and then friendships around me which were manipulating. And when I said about learning lessons in life, and if you don't learn, the universe goes, I'm going to show you it again. I was that person that kept on being shown it. Because I'm a nice guy, I was, even when people were telling me about the people around me, I go, no, they're not like that, they're not like that, they're not like that. And they were exactly like that. And I had to learn that. And when I finally opened my eyes and I cut these people out, my life started changing beyond belief. And then they would obviously play the victim and play me as the villain, and that is fine. That's what they want to do.
That's what a narcissist does, though.
And they do, yeah. And they gaslight the whole situation. But I learned then a lot, and I realised the people I was around, they traits, and I thought, you know what? They all look different, but they all act the same. They all talk the same. They all display the same activities towards me. And, all they wanted is to use me emotionally or financially. And when you learn that, it's good because, and I say about people being on their own for a year minimum, it's important. And there's many people that have come to me now and stayed on their own for a year, and they go, we get it. Because now all I see is red flags. 6 months ago, I couldn't see red flags. I could see green flags. Someone said something nice to me, like, oh, that's sweet, and then fall into that trap. Now, there's people out there, genuine people are going to say nice things, but you learn to know the difference between someone who's trying to manipulate you and someone which is generally being a nice person,
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. I think, do you find, with those red flags, do you find it hinders in any way?
Yes, 100%. Because I see so many red flags, that's what stops me from progressing to meet anyone. Because I've said it for a long time, I'm ready to meet someone, I would love to meet someone, spend my life with, but I see these red flags. And yes, it's hindering me because I can't. It's not a bad thing, because I know I'm not going to put myself in a position I was before. I'm not going to, give up my single life and put myself, otherwise I just will stay in a toxic relationship that I ended years ago. You know what I mean? Well, several years ago. But yes, it can hinder me because I can see it with people straight away, and it's hard then to see people. And I have this all the time where it's one of those scenarios I say to people that you can go as well where you like them and they don't like you, or the other way around, And there's plenty of people that I've seen over time that display green flags, amazing people, and people are like, oh my God, I would love to spend the rest of my life with someone like that. There's one problem, no attraction. And when people say attraction grows, I will say it till the cows come home. Attraction does not grow. If you haven't got any element of attraction, all you're going to have is a friend. You're not going to have a romantic partner. And so yes, it is hard because anyone that displays the green flags are not my type.
Yeah.
You know?
That must be difficult.
It is.
Yeah, it's difficult. It is. I mean, again, I'll talk about myself a little bit here, but my wife, she's incredible. She's absolutely incredible. She's got so many green flags. She's attractive to me.
Yeah, of course she is.
You know, I found that person, and I'm lucky to have found that person to show all of that positivity. But you're right. You know, it is an element of attraction that's got to be there.
Yeah, of course it is.
You've got to be attracted to that person.
Yeah.
In some way or another, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Oh, 100%. You know, people say, "Oh no, it's not all about the looks. It's about the personality." No, it's about everything because you can have the personality, but if you haven't got that attraction to that person,
it's a package, isn't it? It's a whole
package.
It has to come as a whole package. And you know, everyone has their flaws. Of course they do.
Yeah.
But you're not there to follow out their flaws. You're there to just you have to like what you see.
Yeah, of course you are.
In every way. And what's attractive to you is completely different to me.
Of course it is.
My attraction is different. So when we say attraction, it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, what you might stereotypically think of attraction.
No.
But your attraction is different.
Of course it is.
Attractive to you personally.
And this is the thing, and I obviously, because when people come to me on my page and they go, "Oh, you know, I don't think I'll find anyone, I'm not good looking," and I'm like, "But you are." I said, because we're all attracted to somebody, and somebody's attracted to us. Not everyone thinks I'm good looking. A lot of women might go, "Oh," you know what I mean? And a lot of women might go, "Oh my God, he's so handsome." And I'm the same with women. You know, we're all the same. We're all attracted to somebody, but not attracted to everybody. And I think that's why I say we're all beautiful inside and out in different ways to different people.
Absolutely.
You know.
It is how you look at it as an individual, from an individual perspective. And it's got to be an individual perspective. Because if you take anyone else's opinion on board, you never find anybody.
No. do you know what I hate, all right? And I've had it. And my father used to be the biggest one for this. Like, don't get me wrong, I haven't dated for a long time now. But when I used to, like, I'd say to my father, "Oh, you know, I've been chatting to this lady." And I just tell my father everything. And I say, "Oh, have a look at this photo." And he'd always say that she looked like my ex. And I was like, why do everyone do that? Like, if every bald man looks the same, every woman with blonde hair looks the same. People always refer it to your ex, or they look similar. I don't know why people do that.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I think it is a little bit weird, isn't it? It's almost like, well, actually, it's not my ex; it's a completely different person.
No, exactly. But just because she's a brunette, it doesn't mean she looks the same.
I think we all do have a type, though. And
100%.
There's that type that you go for, and maybe there's similarities.
Yeah.
It's never going to be that. It doesn't look like that
No.
person.
Yeah. And for me, I want someone who's going to make me feel alive. Someone that can accept me who I am. Someone that can accept everything I'm doing with the social media. And I've always said this. Me and Emily was talking about this yesterday. Anyone I meet, I would never expect them to be in front of the camera, or if they turn around to me and said, "Look, Steve, you do your thing. I'm happy with that. You can do your videos whatever you want, but don't ever get me in a video." I would respect those boundaries. You know what I mean? So, it's important as well to have that balance with someone as well, and say, "Well, okay, you do you, I'll do me," and they don't stop me from doing what I'm doing. I don't stop them from doing what they're doing, and I think that makes the foundations for a good relationship. And somebody's going to make you smile.
You've got to respect boundaries with others. That's absolutely it.
Yeah, and I want someone who's going to make me smile from year to year, and someone's going to make me laugh over the silliest of things. You know what I mean?
And one day you will find that someone.
Oh yeah,
you will. There's someone out there for everybody.
100%.
And in the meantime, just got to keep being positive, keep being happy.
You have, and it is hard. I say what you just said there. No, and I always say the same thing. There's someone out there for everybody, and even I do the videos and I say about the dating, it's hard, and a lot of us are giving up. And the reason why, because all the good people are going, "I can't be bothered dating us," because they become toxic. But I still believe we will meet people, and that's why I'm holding on. This is why I'm not saying to myself, "I am done," because if I say it out loud properly, then I won't go back. And that's why I'm not. Even my friend Dave was saying, "You can't say it. You can't say it."
Once you said it in a firm days, I was like, "That's it. I can't do it."
Exactly.
But yeah, don't say it.
No, I know exactly, because I know my happiness is out there, and I know that the universe will get. And I just believe the universe is saying it's not your time right now, but it is coming. And I believe that it'll happen when it's meant to happen.
The universe sends things to us, doesn't it? Everything's sent to try us, and every part of our life is meant to be what it is for us to become who we are. And whether that's relationships, whether that's work, whether that's family,
100%,
whatever it might be, and we just got to take it with both hands, whether it's positive or negative, and run with it.
And you turn a negative into a positive.
Absolutely.
Do you believe in it when I say, and when other people say about change your mindset, change your life? Do you believe in that?
100%.
Good.
My mindset life coach. It's kind of. I'm so enthusiastic about it. I don't see me, but I am enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
I think your mindset is everything. how you think is who you are.
It's the foundations.
Absolutely, it really is.
And I that's why I've always said I learned years ago to change the way I thought, to change the way I reacted, because I've been there where like something negative will happen, and then the first thing that comes out of your mouth, then, oh, that's it. I'm gonna have one of those days now, and then before you know, you're going, I'm gonna have one of those weeks, and then more and more things happen. Oh, my whole year's gonna be wrote off. It's because you're creating a negative cycle for yourself. Yeah. But now, and I have done for many years, my attitude is like I done it the other day. I was in the kitchen. I've used this analogy, and it happened to me the other day. And I got a bowl out of the cupboard, and I dropped it on the floor, smashed. I burst out laughing, swept it up, made a cup of tea, and went and done a video. That is a good mindset.
That's a very good mindset.
A lot of people will do that, and they go, "Oh my god, I can't believe that. That's it. My day is doomed." And their day then will be doomed because they are creating it.
Favorite bowl, favorite cup. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden, it's this big, massive thing. Like, oh my god, it's the end of the world because I've smashed this mug, which has cost me £3. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is replaceable. And it's silly things like that. I say I don't worry about stuff like that, and I always say don't worry about things that you can't control. I don't worry about anything anymore. I really don't. Yeah. When something comes to me, I always say the same things to myself, even though I put it. So I practice while I preach and all that. I go, can I control it? And this situation happened recently, and I go, I can't control it. I go, don't worry about it then. That was the end of it. There's no point.
Change it, don't think about it.
And then I had another one that happened, and I was, can I control it? I was like, yeah, but I don't really want to do that. But Steve, if you do that, it's going to get rid of the problem. All right, then let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to say, obviously, I'm still in that phase where I'm trying myself to change that mindset. Because I do have, even though I promote positivity,
it's not easy.
It's not easy.
No.
And most days, I find myself thinking, I can't do this. I can't do that. But actually, when I sit there and I tell myself, you can do this. And my wife is my biggest supporter.
Good.
And she is full of positivity for me. And she'll go, actually, Steve, what would you say to this person? If somebody else said that to you, what would you say? If this was your son, if this was your daughter, what would you say to them? And I'm like, okay, can I think of it that way?
Exactly, because this is the thing. And someone said to me the other day as well, they're good at giving out advice, but they won't take the advice that they're giving out to other people themselves. Yes. And I'm like, well, you can't give the advice out then because you got to learn it yourself. You got to focus on you first and learn it. And like, I didn't always, I have done for many years, but I've never been as positive as I am now. Yeah. I've never thought as clearly as I do now in the last couple of years because I had to train myself. I had to learn myself. Like I said, it's like a complete reset with the computer. You reset the computer. I had to reset my brain. So for a long time, I used to be down on myself, right? Because of all the bad stuff. When like I did step away from people, because I've always stepped away from people if they were bad for me. But I've stayed there for too long. And when I did, they always used to say nasty stuff. And when I did, it would stick in you. Like and in the end, I hated myself. I was going, oh, you're a horrible. I used to look in. That's why I say about looking in the mirror. Because I used to look in the mirror and I used to go, you're fat, you're ugly, you're horrible. No woman's ever going to want you. You're disgusting. You're a horrible man. And I used to say some really dark stuff to myself. And then when I started learning, I started standing in the mirror. And over time, I started singing. I started bit by bit going, you're a good person. You're good to people around you. Then I go, you're not a bad looking bloke. And I wouldn't believe it. And then all of a sudden I started believing these things. So I was reset in my mind. Now I do. And I don't mean it in a cocky way. I look in the mirror and I go, Steve, you're not a bad looking bloke, mate. If I was gay, I would. You know what I mean? That. Yeah. But it's just creating that positive mindset because this controls everything. The way we react, the way our lives are. And we got to respond. And any negative situation, I will always respond in a positive way because one, I feel better. Two, I feel in control. And three, I'm going in the right direction.
Yes. Absolutely. Back to the sort of the mindset thing there. You've got to tell yourself positive affirmations. You've got to say it. So you've got to repeat it because sometimes there's nobody else to say it to you.
No.
And you have to tell yourself these things.
100%.
No matter what you've been told in the past. Don't believe that. Don't always believe that. You need to believe what you truly are.
Exactly. It's like when I've obviously used the analogy, and I've said it to many of people online, that because loads of women and men, mainly the women, have been told by men, because let's be honest, right, apart from you, apart from me, and apart from a lot of other men out there, we are men, right? The rest are boys. The way they treat the women, the way they abuse their women, and the way they speak to them with a lack of respect. It's so avoided, and they do not care what they say. But then they make that woman feel ugly. They tell that woman they're ugly, so that woman then comes up with a mindset, because it's in you, no man's going to want me, I'm ugly. right? And they don't realise they're actually beautiful women, right? Outside as well as they are inside, and they don't believe it no more. And it's hard then to get them to believe it. But yet again, it's a progression of a time where they can reset, and spending time on their own, they will learn how to do this. The same as men that have gone through it as well, you know?
Absolutely. It works for everybody, not just, men, not just women. It's absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
And if you're beaten down enough, you'll believe what you're beaten down with.
Oh, yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that. There are too many people out there who push negativity.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually themselves that have the problem.
Well, for instance, right, I got up this morning and I did a video with this top on, the mental health top, right, which I wear them with.
I love that top.
Exactly, and I do, and I wear them with pride, right? And, this guy come on and he was putting some negative tripe on the comments, so I responded to it with the top on, but without putting a link to it on that particular one, and explain, I don't know whether you've seen that video, explaining a little bit about it, right? Because he obviously haven't been through anything in his life, and what he doesn't realise is, right, he's pushing out negativity, and he's making people feel even worse. He's the kind of person that would tap someone on the back wearing this, has been through mental health, and go, "Why are you wearing that for?" And it's like the comments that I do have when people say, "Oh, what if this kind of person was behind you? What if that kind of person?" And you know what I got to watch what I say on you. Yeah. And I'm like, really? I'm like, it's for people which are suffering with mental health, or people which have just had a breakup in a relationship, because that meaning could have a broad meaning to a lot of people.
It's not targeted as an individual.
No.
It's so broad and it's so versatile. It can be used in
exactly.
With anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You're not offending anybody.
No, and like people say to me, "Oh, you've probably made it up when people have tapped you." No, I haven't. When I obviously, if I go out and about later, I'll have a coat on so no one sees it. But when I started winning back in the summertime, people did, and the first guy that tapped me in Asda's, I'd done a video when I come out, and he tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around, you can see the sadness in his eyes. He goes, "Thank you very much for that. That's a good message. You've made my day." And he walked off, and I started filling up, and I was like, "Wow." You know what I mean? So that makes a difference. Somebody come up with this, right, and put it on a top, and it's amazing. It's amazing, and they need a pat on the back for it.
They do.
Because people are going, "Oh, it's about money." It doesn't matter about the money. It matters about the message you're sending out. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, no one's going to make like 1 million tops and send them out for free, are they? No. You know what I mean?
Why would anyone do that?
But they've done it in a way that it's affordable and it's a message being sent out there, and I think it's remarkable, and that's why I push it. It's not about the money for me. I push it because I want people to know that people have been through it. There was a guy in Asda the other day, and I couldn't find him. Emily goes, "Oh, that is a guy there with a top on the same as yours," and I tried to find him and I couldn't, because if I found him, I would have given him a hug and said, "Well done, mate. That's amazing," because he's spreading the message.
That's what it's about, spreading that message. Isn't it? Just we do it on social media, whatever platform we're on, we do it.
Yeah.
But in person, we need to do it.
Yeah.
And having that, just as that subtle message.
Yeah.
Without saying a word, it's there for people to see.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, isn't it?
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. And it's powerful. And, I've noticed something I didn't even know before. They got the T-shirts of them now as well.
Oh, have they?
So I'm going to get some of those, for the summertime.
I should invest in some myself then.
Yeah. Honestly, get some, because it's a powerful message.
Yeah,
it's a powerful message. And, I'm glad that I wear mine. I'm always wearing them. I got 3 of them. And I'm glad I'm seeing other people, and Emily did, wearing them out and about.
We'll all have them in the area.
Yeah. The Hooligan Philly will just have like these tops on, yeah. There'll be a mass of us, like all crowding together.
Yeah, all through Asda, walking through Asda.
Yeah.
All these tops on, we should arrange some sort of rally where we all do it. That would be fun.
No, but yeah, it is good. Like I said, I'm glad you're in the same kind of mindset as like spreading the joy, spreading the positivity, because we need more of us out there doing it. Yeah. More people judge people. There's loads of people online that just fake. They don't know what they're talking about. They just like. But do you know what I said to someone the other day? It doesn't matter, because the words that they say is still like a positive thing. So it doesn't matter.
Just take the positivity from it.
Exactly. It's just what I get is time and time again when people reach out to these people and they don't respond to them. The reason they don't respond to them because they don't know what to say to them, because they just copy other people's content. With me, I respond because I know what it's like.
Absolutely. Same when people reach out to me, I'll respond to them. I've got all the time in the world for people. If they need help, I'm there to help them.
Yeah.
And it's not just about putting that content there.
It's
about backing it up.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
That's what's needed, isn't it?
Yeah. So apart from that, is there anywhere else you want to go with your life, or is that it for you? Is that your future plan?
Apart from moving abroad to a different country.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, the way this country is, we all want to move abroad. We all want to get out of here.
I think, my plan at the moment is that my little family.
Yeah.
Keep pushing myself with what I'm studying now and see where that takes me. But I want. So for the last couple of years, I've kind of kept it to myself, not said anything to anybody, but I want to be one of these inspirational people that will stand up on a stage and talk to thousands of people.
You can do it.
That's what I want. That's where I see myself. That's what I want.
No, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, that is what I'm going
Remember,
to do.
that's it. That's the right attitude. That's what you're going to do. Because I say it to everyone. We can do anything we want in life. And people say the same thing to me about doing that. And yeah, eventually I will. But you will do it. And you will do it. You know, you work in that way. Because I think that's such an empowering thing. And one of the biggest inspirations for me through life that I've always looked up to, right? And I'm proud to say he responded to me back last year. Well, unless it was one of his colleagues, I don't know, but I'm assuming it was him because of the way he was responded. Tony Robbins.
Okay.
He is. Do you ever watch him?
I've seen one or two.
Right. Maybe. You need to go and watch more of his videos, right? He is such an inspiration, and he got a way of capturing an audience. And I seen one with him, and he had an audience here, and he seen this boy, and he said to the boy, "Stand up." And the boy was shaking, and you could see he suffers with anxiety, depression. He was in a dark place. So Tony Robbins goes up to him and starts speaking to him, and he rubbed his cheek. He said, "Don't cry, you're going to mess it all up." And he said, "What's the matter?" He said, "Is he your red shoes?" Because he said, "They're friggin' hideous, let's be honest."
I've seen that video.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones I've seen.
And I was like, wow. And the way he engaged that boy, and that boy started smiling, and he goes, "There you are," and he rubbed his cheek again. And then he started talking to him and telling him his worth, and he's worth more. And I thought, this guy is an absolute genius. He is the best in the world.
Yes.
You know, forget about anybody else. He is awesome. And he's the things that comes out of his mouth, I always think, and it's always new, fresh things. I'm like, where do you get all this from? It's just madness.
A bank of knowledge.
Yeah, because he got all his wife as well, Tony Robbins. They both do it together. But yeah, he has got a bank of knowledge. You're right, and he's just. Yeah, honestly, watch more of his stuff. Yeah, I follow him, and I message him. I can't remember what I messaged him about, but it was one of his videos, and I actually messaged him, and I didn't think I got a response. And I got a response a couple of hours later. Wow. But people say, "Oh, that's probably computer generated," but it wasn't, because he was responding to the question I asked. Now, he could have a team there that responded, or it could be him. I do not know. But, I would just chat.
That doesn't matter.
No, it was massive for me. Tony Robbins responded to me. I'm like, hey.
It's a response. At the end of the day, whoever sends it back is from his personal page. So
it was, yeah, because when I was going through all my stuff on and off through life, I've always listened to his stuff, right? And I've always said to anyone, and this is why it helped me, always listen to inspirational people. Always listen to people that are upbeat, because the most successful people in life are surrounded by happy, positive people. They're not surrounded by drama. They're not surrounded by toxicity. They're not surrounded by people that just want a financial gain off them. They are just surrounded by people that laugh, smile, happy, and succeeding in life. Because success comes in many different ways. But if you're around successful people, they're successful in money and in life by surrounding themselves by like-minded people. A millionaire makes another person a millionaire. It's a true fact.
Absolutely. You know? What you surround yourself with, it's that mindset again, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You are what you think you are.
100%.
Whatever you surround yourself with, is what you become.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the same thing.
Yeah, we are. But watch Tony Robbins, honestly, it's just like, it's mind-blowing. Because I'm not sure how old he is now, because like I said, I've watched him since a very young age. He's probably in his late 50s, I would have thought.
Wow, okay.
Early 60s, because he was in a short stint in a film called Shallow Hal. Do you remember that?
I've heard of Shallow Hal. I've never watched it.
Yeah, you need to watch that. That's funny. That is a funny film.
I'm a bit hidden when it comes to things like that.
Yeah. Well, you're probably like, say, do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 34.
34, yeah. So younger than. So yeah, I can't even remember when that came out. I think it was early 2000s, something like that.
I remember it. I remember the film. I've seen it. I've not seen the film, but I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
But not actually watched it.
You got to watch it. You got to watch it. Don't let the kids watch it. You and your wife watch it. It is funny, honestly.
Okay.
It's about a guy which is really shallow towards women, and Tony Robbins like kind of puts this like spell kind of thing on him, and then he sees women in a different way. So
okay,
it is good. It's really interesting. It's quite funny. Jack Black's in it. I don't know whether you like Jack Black. I think he's funny.
I love Jack Black.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Well, you got to watch it.
He's Marmite though, isn't he? I think. Same with Ricky Gervais. They're both Marmite.
Oh yeah.
But I love them.
One of my favourite ones for acting and being funny is Ben Stiller. Oh, he's just so funny. As soon as the film starts, you look at his face and he just bursts out laughing.
He's just one of them people, isn't he?
Yeah.
For me, Adam Sandler.
Oh, he is. Do you know what? Adam Sandler, he's such a lovely guy in real life, and he donates, right, millions of pounds every year to charities, children's charities, everything. Not a lot of people know that. It is publicised, but not a lot of people focus on it. he always lives in like old clothes, long t-shirts, tracksuit bottoms, right? He drives a car which is 15, 20 years old. He doesn't live in a massive mansion, but he does live in a good house. He's got millions in the bank, but he's just a simple guy. He's just a normal guy, you know.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, and he gets like, because I wondered for a long time where a lot of his films had the same actors in it, but they're like family, friends, people that he's helped along the way, and goes, oh well, you know, I can see potential in you, so I'm going to make you rich, and he puts them in a film. You know, he's remarkable.
I'm just gonna be friends with Adam Sandler then, is it?
Yeah, but I tell you what, you got to see it. Grown Ups, you got to have seen that film.
I have seen that.
Oh, have you seen them all? They're funny as hell.
I think I've seen the first one.
Oh, you haven't seen the others?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you haven't lived. You've got to see the others.
I did say I'm a bit sort of sheltered from all that sort of stuff. But
no, watch it honestly. It's like, watch, like they're all funny. They're all funny. Yeah. But the latest one they done was a few years back. Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I think I do need to watch this stuff.
Yeah, American Pie.
I've seen American Pie. I've seen
all of them.
Pie. I think so.
Yeah,
my wife will kill me if I say no.
Yeah, because you got. Well, I think they were on about making another one of those. Whether they will or not, I do not know.
Okay.
Because it's mad because it's those that acted in there, Sean William Scott and stuff like that. Okay. I grew up with them because they're my age. Yeah. It's madness. So it's thinking like when I watch American Pie again and they're in their 20s, think, oh my god, you know, back in the day, it's funny.
The one that sticks in my head is Bandcamp.
Oh yeah.
American Pie.
When is it Bandcamp?
Yeah, the flute.
Yeah.
That's the one that sticks with me. But again, my films come from my wife because before I met my wife, I didn't really watch anything like that. But she's really involved with me.
So what do you like in film? Do you like comedy, action, or a bit of both, or mixture?
I like horror.
Oh, I love horror.
I love horror. My wife hates horror. But if I was to watch
you that one that was sat there and she's watching and you're just waiting to go, ah!
I do it all the time.
Yeah, I do with my girls.
Because she usually sits there on her phone or read a book or something because she won't
gotta
watch
make a jump.
Screen. And all of a sudden there'll be the noise on the TV.
Yeah.
It builds up, and then I just do something that scares her.
Yeah.
And she hates me for it, but you can't help it. It's just got to be done. It's just got to be done. Yeah.
Oh, you can't be a good horror.
But I'm also one of those guys that will watch a horror because he's so confident. Just sit there and watch them, a scary film going, and absolutely at the end of the film be terrified and go and cuddle up next to it in bed. Like, I don't want to watch anymore.
The worst ones for me is the ones that make you jump, right? Not so much of the horror, like the thrillers and that, like Insidious and stuff like that. Yeah. And I'm there and I'm going all the time, and you know it's going to come, and you go, right, I'm not going to jump, next you go, Jesus Christ!
I'm not your skin. Sometimes if that's happening, I will just cover my eyes. Yeah. Until the noise changes on the TV and then I look. But yeah, it's 100%.
You just remind me. I remember years and years ago. What's his name? Darren Brown. Have you heard about Darren Brown?
I have, yes.
Yeah. He is like a genius. He's awesome. Yeah, and he did a thing, and it was years ago. Olivia was very young. I'm watching on TV, and I just didn't think, did I, at the time? And he had this boy. He wasn't working. He was in his 20s. So his parents contacted Darren Brown. So Darren Brown set it up so they basically, when he was sleeping, they removed him from the house and he made up this confinement in like a factory and that. So it looked like real life. And basically when he woke up, he was just on a bed in a gown and stuff like that. And they made it look like it was the end of the world. And when he goes outside, those zombies and all that. Yeah, Olivia, because she was young, she was seeing that, she was crying, I was like, I realised. But even me, right, I watched that, I had nightmares that night, but it was so like fascinating to watch. But this boy was absolutely petrified because he thought everyone was dead. He tried calling his parents, Lion's dead.
Yeah, I love Darren Brown. I think what he does is
he's a genius.
I don't know how he does it, but it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I tell you what, like, I love Dynamo, right, the magician, how he does his tricks, right, because he's very fascinating to me, right? It's like David Copperfield. Do you heard of him?
I've heard of him.
He was the only guy, right, that nobody knows how he done it to this day. He levitated over the Grand Canyon. Now, I've been to the Grand Canyon because I went there, and I'm like, how the hell? You have to Google that, right? I'll go onto a YouTube or something like that. But he levitated over the Grand Canyon. But then Dynamo reminds me of him because Dynamo, like, he walked on the Thames, and it's just like, it's got to be some kind of trickery there. But you're like, how?
Yeah, Canyon, that's mental.
Yeah.
I think I need to watch that because that. Yeah,
type it in, David Copperfield, Grand Canyon. He's on some kind of rug or something. Because funny enough, when I was there and we went to the Grand Canyon, when I went back to the hotel, I put him in because I remembered it straight away, and I was like, how the hell did he do that?
I need to watch it.
Oh yeah,
I need to watch it.
Well, you see, I've given you loads of stuff now to watch.
You have.
You're going to go into your wife now, we need to watch American Pie, and we need to watch Derren Brown.
I'm a bit more sheltered. I can't share that type of stuff with you, you know, to kind of go and watch this because you've clearly got more experience in this stuff than me. But for sure, it's definitely giving me some things to watch.
Yeah. 100%. But yeah, I love like horror, comedy, and action. But do you know what? The only problem is I find now the films are not as good as they used to be. Few and far apart because there's things that they can't say, things that they can't do no more. Everything's like snowflakey now, so it's just like so frustrating to get a good comedy or a good horror now.
I agree. I mean, I'll go back to Little Britain.
Oh, you couldn't do that now?
The things they used to say on there, and I mean, I was watching clips over Christmas, and I was just like, can't say that now. Don't say that now. How do they get away with it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's things like what you just said. You know, it's just you can't get away with something.
I seen a clip earlier on. Funny enough, I don't remember, was it David or something? The guy went and he had to tell his friend that he was gay, and he goes, "Oh, I never knew."
Yeah.
He said, "I know I hide it well."
Wasn't that James Corden?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was James Corden. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Young James
Ruth
Corden.
Jones is in there as well, isn't she?
Yes.
She's Mavami, I think, in that.
Mavami, that's it. It's just so funny to watch. I haven't seen that for years.
Yeah, I actually watched that clip yesterday.
Yeah, he's like floating around. It's so funny, and he goes, "Oh, I hide it very well." Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't get away with saying any of that stuff anymore.
No, you can't, and that's the thing. And I think a lot of films are arranged in the. Like, I tell you what, I was disappointed with. Again from the 80s, Beverly Hills Cop. You've seen all those? No. Beverly Hills Cop, right, was like, it was brilliant. It goes down as one of the classics. Eddie Murphy. And they made the latest installment.
I love Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah. But the latest installment, he wasn't like I remember it as him as Axel Foley. He was, it wasn't the same. But I think it's because they probably weren't allowed to make it too outrageous, you know?
I think White Chicks.
Oh, that's brilliant. And what's the guy there? Oh, and he's in the car and he's singing it. I can't think of the song now. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah.
It's a good film. There's a lot out there that...
It is. There's a lot of classics. But like I said, nowadays films few and far apart when you get good ones, you know?
You've got to find that good one.
Yeah, so what for you then? I know you're a bit younger, but what is your like favourite film from a childhood? What do you like? Like for me, it's Goonies, things like that.
I love the Goonies.
Oh, you do know that one?
Goonies.
You know the Goonies?
Oh,
we're on the right page here
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth. Oh, have you seen me with my Baby Ruth bars in America? I always buy the Baby Ruth bars.
I think I did see you with a few.
Yeah, I'm gonna disclose this now. I've never said it before, right? Okay. I always go out there, buy the Baby Ruth bars, right? Okay. And I say to people, "Oh, they taste really nice." They taste like crap, but I buy them because they have the Goonies. And I just eat them.
Just buy them for the Goonies. I know. That's brilliant. Baby Ruth. Yeah. What was his name? The guy underground.
Sloth. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, you guys.
That's funny. He's funny. Yeah, I love it. And I think at the young age when I did watch that, I was actually terrified. Like, I knew what was going to happen. Yeah. So I'd watched it before. Like, don't go down the stairs. Don't go down the stairs.
Well, the sad case of affairs is, and I didn't know this until years ago. I looked into it because I always wondered the actor that played him, but he actually died when he was 34 years old. So they made the film and then he died. Yeah, about a year or so later.
Oh wow.
Because he was like, he was like a bodybuilder or something, wasn't he?
He was something.
But yeah, and that's one of the places I'd like to go. Because I'd like to go to Astoria, I think it is, and go and see the Goonie House. Because the people who own the Goonie House, I follow them on TikTok. They come up randomly, and people go there, right? And they have to go in, and the guy, he lets them go in for free. But he does the scene from the Goonies where he says, "Right, you got to do the ruffle shuffle," and he's suddenly going, "Do it!" And people lift their tops and go.
That's brilliant. You got to do it. You got to video.
I got to do it. Yeah,
well.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you'll have to, slim down before you do that.
I mean, to do that.
Just throw a six-pack on.
Let's get one of those t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Six-pack on, tuck it in.
Yeah. Just breathe in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to go there because America, as you probably know, is where my heart is. I love America. We're always going around. And when I went to LA, like when I grew up talking about horror films, I loved Freddy Krueger, right? Freddy Krueger was awesome. And I was stood outside the Freddy Krueger house, Nancy's house. Have you ever seen Freddy Krueger?
No.
Right. But anyway,
I know who he is. But,
Robert Englund. And I stood outside the Freddy Krueger, and this was the getting thing for me. So we stood outside there. I'd done a video. It was great. A day later, right, we're still in LA, and it was on TikTok. And Robert Englund and some of the actors were stood outside the house on that day, and I was like, "You are having a frigging laugh." I went in the wrong frigging day, didn't I?
Oh, that's mad.
I know, that would have been awesome. Even if I could just got him in the background or something, Robert Englund's like.
I would have been gutted with that if it was something.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. But that's the thing when I go to America. I obviously like try and go to the places with the films and that, and it's quite mind blowing. Like New York, first time I went to New York, and like a lot of films are made out there, and I was overcome with emotion. Stood in Times Square, going, "Oh my god, this is just like mind blowing." And New York is still right, even though there's loads of wonderful places in America that we've been, Vegas, and all those kind of things. My heart still goes to New York. I love New York.
Yeah, I feel like when I think of America, I feel like my heart belongs in America. I've never been to America, but I feel like I love America.
Well, you would probably have the same feeling as me, because every time I land in America, I'm like, oh, I've come home. Yeah. It's weird. And I do.
I've never been.
No.
I don't even know what it's like.
Get yourself out. When the kids are older, take yourself out there. It's such a nice place. You get good and bad over there, like you do over here. There's good people, there's bad people. The Americans are a bit more direct than we are, though. So I've learned this.
I think they're literal when they speak.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
What they say is what they mean.
Yeah. And the first time I went over, I did take a little bit of offence. I've never said nothing. And then I realised this is just them.
Yeah.
And then speaking to another American, he told me, he said, like, we are quite, like you said, we're there. We just say it. And it's just the way it's not to offend. It's just the way we are.
I think here we beat around the bush.
Yeah, we do.
We soften the blow.
We do, yeah.
But they say it as it is, direct at you. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, I've not experienced that, but I've seen it.
It was like when we was going up to one of the what was it? Empire State Building.
Okay.
And I was with the girls, and the guy goes, "Move along, sir." Excuse me? Do you need to speak to me like that? I didn't say that to him, but I'm thinking, what?
Okay, I'm going.
Yeah, but it's just like over here. We got. Do you mind moving along? You know what I mean?
Just move down there.
Yeah, please, move along.
On their knees begging.
I know, but yeah, it's all good. But America, honestly, you would absolutely love it.
Texas is a go-to place for me. I need to go to Texas. I feel Texas is somewhere I want to go. I'd actually love to do Route 66, but I don't think it exists anymore, does it?
Yes.
As a whole?
Yes.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah. Right. I'm going there next year.
Are you
right.
Really?
So here's the plan. I've publicised it. Me and the girls, we got a lot planned this year. And the thing is, I'm not a big-headed person. I'm not a bragging person, so I don't put this information out for bragging for anybody, because I do it for people to be inspired and say, you can do this, you can do that. So we got a lot of holidays planned this year, but I've said that 2026 is the year I'm going to do Route 66. I always planned on doing it when I had a partner. But obviously, I haven't got a partner. So I was going to go on my own then, and the girls were like, oh, Dad, no, we want to come with you. And I was like, oh, okay. And let's say, for argument's sake, I do end up with a partner, the girls are still going to come now as well, because, I'm not going to let them down. So we're going to go to Chicago, fly to Chicago, and then you fly home then from LA. Now, I've done like a little bit of research, and it says it takes around about 3 weeks to drive. Now, I'm thinking within that 3 weeks, obviously people are going to stop. Some may have 2 nights here, 2 nights here. So I'm going to go for a month. So we'll get off a plane, get a car from Chicago, we drive, and I want to stay in all these dingy, dodgy motels. Bates Motel.
But
stay in them all.
You see them all on the movies, the horror movies. All these hotels.
Yeah. Be awesome. But we're going to do that. We're going to drive, and the plan is drive for like 8 to 10 hours, or however we feel, and then stay over for 2 nights at that place. You can have a look. Otherwise, you're just wasted if you're just going to keep driving. Get up, drive. Have 2 days there. Have a look around, and then we don't know what's going to take us about a month. And if we do get to LA and we got another week left, then we'll probably just get a hotel and we'll have a week there. Then you know what I mean? Because we like LA. But I always thought, see, Route 66 went all the way to Vegas, but it doesn't. It finishes technically in LA and the Nevada desert. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. So that is yet again, I'm living my childhood dreams that I've always wanted to do, and Route 66 is what I've always wanted to do. Now, I said to my friend, I'm going to get like a convertible. He said 2 things here. He said, because he's done it, he said, don't be an idiot. He said, you're bald, so you're going to get burnt. And he said, think about the luggage. And I was like, oh yeah, you are right. We've got 3 large suitcases. So he said, like that hood that comes off goes into the boot. So he said, you're just better off getting like a Jeep with air conditioning where you've got more space. And I thought, do you know what? Yeah, I think if it was just me and a partner, I would 100% get a convertible. Because you're all right.
Seats then, can't you?
Yeah. Because I've even thought about, to be honest, I know it's an expensive way of doing it, but I even thought, right, do I really take a suitcase? Do I just take a bag, chuck a few clothes in it, and buy a few clothes over there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's lots of options, isn't there?
Yeah.
If I was to do it, my plan is when I do it,
because
I'm going to do it, it's a motorhome RV. I'm just going to drive the whole of Route 66 in this RV.
Yeah.
Stop over at these places in the middle of nowhere. Be absolutely terrified because I know I'm going to be. And expect some alien guy to walk up next to my motorhome and tap on the door at some point, that little green man, But
Did you see when we went to Vegas and we went to Area 51?
I did. Yes.
Right. Have you ever seen the film? Like, no, I'm going to ask you to see. Paul the Alien.
I have seen that. That's what I'm referring to. That Alien.
Yeah. That where we went for food on my video. That was where they stopped. That was the actual place.
Okay.
It was all filmed around there, and that was mad, right? Because you're in the Nevada desert. You've got the shack. It's got a population. I can't remember. I think it's 58 people. The population is of that town. That's it. From the drive from there then to get to the nearest gas station, as they call it, or town, is about 45 minutes to an hour. Right? It's a lengthy drive, so it's no one around for miles. You know, when we drove there, and the tour guide was taking us around, probably past 2 cars all the way. I remember saying to him, he heard his name, he was a lovely guy, and I said, what happens if you are out here and you break down the car because you've got no internet signal, right? You've got no phone signal, you've got nothing, right? You're in the desert, you're purposely cut off because of Area 51, everything is just shut down. That's the end of it. And he said, well, basically, you've got to hope someone passes by, and if you don't, you die.
Wow,
because he said you got the heat, you're in the desert. So he said, you know, it's one of those. He said, you know, because he said unless somebody knows where you're going, and then you haven't heard from him for a while, like he's a tour guide, if you don't hear from him, they come from him. But yeah, it's you know,
it's quite scary actually.
That is, yeah, that is.
We saw some backup radio.
Yeah,
when you do it, backup radio, and you'll be good.
Yeah, and I can't keep forgetting the name of the film. The one with Will Smith and the aliens. Remember that one?
Men in Black.
No.
Will Smith's in that, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's in that now. But he was dragging the alien across the ground. He was in the desert and kicking it because he was going, "You're one ugly mother." And he took us by there, and it used to be, he used to have water there like hundreds of years ago, and it's all cracks in the floor, and it's like. And
I remember seeing that in your video, and you showed what was around you.
Yeah.
I need to be there.
Yeah.
I need to be there.
Independence Day. That's what it's called. Independence Day.
Yeah,
honestly, it's so fascinating to go and see, and so remarkable. But the heat in Vegas and Nevada, is unreal. I tell you, I said it to the girls because I went it before. So when you get off a plane, you're going to take a while to climb, and they go, "Oh, it'll be all right, Dad. We've been to LA." I said, "Yeah, but LA is in the desert, but it's not as far into the desert as this." Golf plane, they go, "It's hot."
So heat-wise, I know people say, and obviously when you go abroad, it's a different kind of heat to Britain.
It is a different kind of heat.
Is it a worse, different kind of heat?
Right. When you go to places like Spain and all those kind of places, right? Like me, I get burnt in the sun, right? So I go there, I get burnt. Now, when I go to Vegas, don't get burnt.
Okay.
Right? Because it's a dry desert heat. Now, I'm not saying you can't get burnt, because you could. If you laid around the pool all day, you get good. But when I was walking around, I had suntan lotion, but I won't get burnt. When I go to Spain with the girls, I still put a suntan lotion. I'm walking around, I still get burnt to a crisp. Okay. But over there, because it was a desert heat, the only thing is you end up drinking loads and loads and loads of fluid because you dehydrate really quick. You know, temperatures were above 40, and I think it only went out to about 42 the one day.
In the desert, there's no toilet to go either.
Well, you won't need to go to the toilet, you just dehydrate.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, you just dehydrate.
Yeah. It's definitely on my bucket list, my to-do list.
It's things you got to do. Obviously, your kids are young now. I was there when the girls were younger. We never went abroad, never done any of this stuff. Yeah. Now they're older. The young ads, I want to show them. I want to go here. I want to go there. I want to go everywhere. And I'm experiencing America. You know, this year alone, I'm going to Poland next week, next Sunday, because it was for my friend's son's 18th. That was a gift off him and his wife to him. So we go in there. I come back 4 weeks later. Then I'm going to Rome with Olivia because I paid for that for her birthday. Then we come back, and 6 weeks after that, we go into Florida. Then I come back 8 weeks after that. Then I'm going to Miami. So it's a full-on year.
Some serious trips going on.
Yeah, it's because
big trips.
When things were tough for me and things were really, really difficult. You know, I couldn't go on it. My holiday was walking to Asda's, literally, right? That was it. We couldn't afford anything.
That's why you're doing it now, isn't it?
Exactly.
That same habit.
Exactly. So, you know, but I always showed my girls the most important thing, love, and giving them the attention and stuff like that. And now things are different, and I've worked damn hard for it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to experience these things, and that's why I try and put the message out to people. You can do it. Like yourself, you are going to do all these things you said. I'm glad you keep on saying that. I'm going to do it, because that's important. As soon as you put a different response to it, you ain't going to do it, because you put in a negative, but you're going, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's like, I'm going to do loads more. I'm going to make my business more. I'm going to make this a success. You know, I'm going to make everything I do a success because I believe in me and you believe in you.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Right. Well, on that note, then, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you on here. So it's been good to have a chat.
This microphone.
Yeah.